Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Antonio Alanis, and I want to share one love letter that I wrote called Love Letter to Mexico from a returning son. And I want to share this letter because I'm now in Mexico visiting, vacationing, and every time I get the chance to return to my homeland, I always get very emotional. And lately, since writing my first children's picture book, I've really turned to writing more and communicating and expressing a lot of the things that I'm thinking through writing and communication that way. So I want to share a letter that I wrote in my first week coming back. And as always, I'm seeing that a lot of the things that I'm talking about and communicating have come from communicating the migration experience and the Mexican diaspora and all the information that I've shared before for my children's picture book. And one of the things that I've really learned from sharing my children's picture book called Clarita Migrates North is that there are a lot of things still that are making a lot of impact in my life of migrating. And I wrote this letter essentially personifying Mexico as a person or as a being or as an entity. And I wanted to share this with you. It reads a little bit like a poem, but it's more of an essay that I wanted to share with you. And it means a lot because I wrote this essay letter beside the ocean, and every time I get the chance to return to the water, I always feel connected and just very happy and at peace. And when I least expected, I got emotional and I said, I have to capture the thoughts that I'm thinking right now. And what you will hear now is that it's an essay slash letter that I wrote to my home country of Mexico. And this letter is called Love Letter to Mexico from a Returning Son. So it goes like this. Mexico, it's so hard to let you go. Every time that I visit you, I really don't want to leave you. I want to stay. I want to be here. But I have not found the right amount or the right way to be here and there yet. I almost didn't come back this time. Siento como un presentimiento, I told my mother a few weeks before stepping on a plane. And I was ready to cancel last minute and invent an excuse. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't make one. I'm glad I came. I'm glad I didn't listen to the noise of the news. Being back to you, my homeland is always bittersweet. I read a lot about los desaparecidos, the insecurity, the financial precarity, but also the peace I feel when I set foot here. Like something in me finally settles. Dos verdades pueden ser ciertas a la misma vez, I tell myself. I carry happiness when I feel the breeze on my face, hearing people play music late at night. But I also carry sadness and grief for the violence I read about and the social disparities that I continue to see. Sometimes I feel like I'm holding two versions of you at once. The one that I read about and the one that I live when I am here. The one that hurts and the one that heals. And I'm learning that loving you means not choosing one over the other, but learning how to sit with both without turning away. I like the slower pace of life, the non-rush, the new community of people that I'm building. Los meseros, las señoras en los mercados whose kindness makes me feel at home. The music, the food, mi gente, the musicians that enlighten the beach with their tubas blasting to banda, the guitarra de 12 cuerdas, and the classical guitar reminding me of my grandparents' music. The families and the children splashing on the water. There is something about the everyday life here that feels fuller, like moments stretch longer, like conversations are allowed to breathe. Even the smallest interactions carry weight. A greeting, a smile, a shared joke. Things that in the United States feel rushed, but here feel complete. I find it bittersweet that I get to return to you when you were the one that forced my family to migrate in search of a better life in El Norte. I find it ironic that I get to vacation in your coast when we had to move to achieve our goals somewhere else. Now, about El Sueño Americano, that's a topic for another day. Maybe it was not you who made us pack our bags, but systems and politicians at the time that shut down doors for us. And I still return to you with love and not resentment. There's something that I'm still trying to understand. How a place that once could not hold us can still feel like home, embracing me fully. How something can break you and still call you back. I often wonder if my family had not left. I wonder what my life would look like if I had stayed different. I wonder if I had not left my home state of Durango and who I could have been. I wonder if the reason that I keep returning to you is if I'm trying to make up for the time I didn't get to grow up in you, like retracting steps I never got to take. Now, this doesn't mean that I get or want to erase my growing up in North Carolina or dismiss the life I continue to live there and build there. But I do wonder a lot. Maybe what I'm really doing is learning how to belong in a place that I always was meant to belong to, but never got the chance to. Maybe this return is not about fixing the past, but about expanding what is possible for my future. When I'm savoring a delicious café de olla, warm and sweet, I wish my parents, siblings, and community back home would get the same chance to return to you, even if they wanted and could. I truly hope they have a chance to return. I think about how many more stories I have yet to live, how many reunions and gallery exhibitions I will be part of, how many more people I will meet, and how many people are still carrying the idea of returning without knowing if it will ever be possible. One reason out of many that I love being back is that I no longer feel a dooming sense of persecution, justifying or defending my identity, my language, my background. I'm not sure if what I'm expressing is what they call survivor's guilt, that I get to return to a place where I can be myself while others can't. But I could not be myself if I ignored the tribulations that many of our Latino community members are going through. En Semana Santa, bajo su velo, le pedí a la Virgen del Carmen por la protección a los 68 millones de latinos viviendo en Estados Unidos. There is a quiet responsibility that comes with that awareness. To not forget, to not disconnect, to carry both realities with me, even when I am far from one or the other. Every day I aspire to be a better version of myself, and you motivate me to do just that, to return to you. Although I have the ability to visit more countries and cities around the world, you are my priority. there's this something about choosing you that feels intentional, like I'm slowly building a relationship that was interrupted, picking up the pieces from the ground, like I am learning you again, not as a child, but as someone who can see you more clearly now. I return to you not by force, but by pleasure. I'm here by choice. I return to your side because I still believe in you. I still believe I can live the life of my dreams here and there, where I can be my full self, where I can grow. And maybe that is what I'm learning most, that it doesn't have to be grief and happiness, one or the other, that I don't have to choose between versions of myself, that I can exist in both, even if it's not always easy. I won't ever get the chance to get to know all of you in this lifetime, pero cómo me encantaría conocerte en un mordisco. Pero no se puede, which is why I would love to return being Mexican in every lifetime. Gracias, Mexico. So that is the love letter that I wrote in Mexico. I wanted to share with all of you because I think it's important to think about the multiple realities that I get to hold when I return, when I visit, when I vacation here, and all the emotions that mean to me when I am walking through the street, talking to people, being in the mercados, walking, being in the water. And I think it's important to share this because if my book, Clarita Migrates North, really made me think about something, is that I have so much more to continue talking about and expressing. And hopefully this is something that will resonate with more of you through multiple iterations, whether it's through audio or through the written form. I wanted to share this letter because I think that it's important to continue expressing the things that are still hurting and the things that are still healing as well. So that duality. And to close this off, I want to say thank you so much for listening to today, to this segment. It means a lot that you're here. And I wanted to say that this audio is sponsored by me, sponsored by Antonio Alani's art. And I've made this through the possible support of all of you who have listened, who have purchased a copy of my children's picture book called Clarita Migrates North. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has bought a picture book for me, who has bought a copy, who has shared it, or has simply recommended to someone, or just written something positive about the book. You are really helping me continue this work. So you're helping me sharing the stories, the conversations, and helping me build something meaningful for our communities, for our people, for our children, for ourselves as adults now, for our educators. And I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the book. This has really shown me the support that I have. And if you'd like to learn more about the book or get your own copy of Clarita Migrates North, you can visit my website at antonioalanisart.com/books, or you can go online and make a search and you'll find it there. So again, thank you so much for your support. And I would love to hear back from you if there is something that resonates with you in this essay/letter communication. Definitely would love to listen to all of you if you resonate with something that stuck with you, or maybe about your own migration story if you have one. Again, Thank you so much for your time.